Hey there everyone, welcome to Monday again. So, for this week's episode of SpeakOutStandStrong, I'm going to talk about one of the latest dumb things that Rush Limbaugh has said, because he said a lot of them, but this one is, to go along with gay marriage and all this stuff, because as most people who know Rush Limbaugh know, he's not a fan of it at all, in the slightest. He's got that whole conservative, we can't let the gays marry kind of thing going. So, his new point is that the normalization of same-sex marriage will lead to normalizing pedophilia. And I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, just because I like men and women does not mean that I like small children at all. I'm all for normalizing gay marriage, because you should have it. But, there's still something wrong about, doing stuff to little kids that, A, they don't know what it is, B, just shouldn't be done, period, because it's just nasty. It's not, it's kind of like saying the whole, if gays get married, then, the people will start murdering everyone or doing all this stuff. And it's like, no, there's no causal relationship between this stuff. Plus, there are things that are just considered wrong, period, and there is no acceptability whatsoever. It's just so frustrating to me that people can make those, not only that they can make those remarks, but that people believe them. And that's the really sad thing to me, is that, some people will listen to his show and go, yeah, that's right, this is going to happen, so we need to make sure that there is no gay marriage. And it's like, no. That's not how it works. It's just not. All these things were said about interracial marriage 50 years ago. And we all look back at the people then who were against it and, go, oh yeah, that's dumb, It's nothing that we should be worried about because they're in love with each other and it's not going to cause the world to end and all this stuff. And it's like, but you're having the same exact problem with this whole gay marriage thing, all these people who are against it for dumb reasons that make absolutely no sense whatsoever, Because that's like, you have the whole world's gonna end, World War III is gonna break out, all these sexual deviances are gonna happen just because we're normalizing the sexual deviance that is homosexuality. And it's like, no. There's a difference between a man loving a man, a woman loving a woman, or someone whose gender identity does not match their biological sex. Those are different from things like, pedophilia or bestiality. They're completely different things. It's not gonna do anything, because I still think, all these bad sexual deviances are, I'm not gonna go out and do them anytime soon, but I'd be perfectly okay dating a woman. I'd be perfectly okay dating a guy. Don't care. And I'd also be perfectly okay dating someone who doesn't fall into the two gender boxes. It's not a case of the sexual deviance is going to lead to all the other ones. It's more, these people are in love, they're consenting adults, they're fine. There's no, what you want to do in your personal life is your choice. And as long as you're all old enough to consent and you're consenting, that's all that matters. It's marriage, like some marriages that have been, traditional and stuff are far worse compared to the standard that we seem to set. Because, there's all the ones where, like, a rape victim would have to marry her attacker, or, marrying prisoners of war and all that stuff. And it's, like, chances are the woman wasn't consenting. There was no consent given. And, like, even colonial times and before then, the man owned the woman. Like, half the time there was no consent going on. So by those standards, those straight marriages were absolutely barbaric compared to, you know, society's, like, what's the word, guidelines, you know, for marriage and stuff, you know. The whole consenting thing is pretty big, and it's like, so you're okay with all these people, like, all the abuse that could go on, and the fact that women used to disappear as soon as they got married. Like, you see them from birth until marriage, and at marriage, they became an extension of their husband. They weren't their own person legally anymore. And, you know, you're okay with that, but you're not okay with two people of the same sex who are in love and who are consenting, and you're not okay with that. Really? Because that's kind of backwards and dumb and all that stuff, because, you know, we're moving on, okay? Marriage has come a long way since whatever era you're basing it off of, you know? And especially, like, the younger generation now, we don't care, okay? As long as you're not grabbing our nose in your business, we're good. I really don't care what goes on in your personal life, because it's your personal life. It's up to you to decide whether you want to act on whatever sexual orientation you are. It's not my business telling you what you can and cannot do. Which is why, you know, it's one of the reasons why I'm so big on gay marriage, is because, you know, it's a right that most of the country has, but not all of us, you know? So, just stay out of the marriage business, because everyone should be able to have the same protection under the law. And let's face it, if same-sex marriage isn't legal, you don't. You know? Or if they just made marriage, if they had, like, an actual equivalent to marriage, it'd be alright, but they don't. And that's the only way I see us ever being totally equal with, you know, the whole straight majority. So, yeah, Rush Limbaugh, you need to stop just because you're just making remarks that have A, no basis in real, like, fact, and B, you're just trying to fire up the right-wing nut jobs, and, you know, you said it yourself. You've lost. So just stop fighting it. You're not gonna stop it at this point, so you might as well just get over it and accept that, you know, change is actually happening. So instead of being remembered as all the people, you know, 50 years from now, instead of being remembered the same way we remember the people who are against interracial marriage, which is not in that good a light, you know, take a step forward, be one of the progressive people that your descendants can look at later on and go, hey, yeah, that person fought for equal rights. You know, that's cool. Which one do you want to be? You know? Just maybe think about that. If you're against equal rights and gay marriage and all that stuff, I mean, I know I'm not going to change anyone's mind by myself, but just think about that stuff, because it's not as horrible as people who are against it seem to think. You know, we're not going to destroy traditional marriage, we're not going to cause all these wars and crime rates to increase and all this stuff. We just want to be happy like everyone else. And is that so bad? I certainly don't think so. So, you know, hopefully people start seeing it that way, you know? But yeah. So, end rant. I'll step off my little soapbox now. I'm done for this week. But, yeah. So, that's pretty much it for me today. And, you know, I've got Facebook, Twitter, email, my other channel down in the description thingy, and I'm actually posting videos on my other channel more recently, or not recently, more regularly, so check that out if you want to. Subscribe, like, follow, do all that fun stuff. And I will see you all next week when I have something new to rant about. Peace.